Dang. Y'all in the house quick this morning. All praises to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. I want to wish brothers and sisters a blessed Sabbath this morning. This is your brother, Priest Danyaahla. I'm just doing a quick commentary. I'm not going to be long. It's the Sabbath day. I have a lot going on today, so I'm just going to do a very quick video. Heaven Lesson 13. Shabbat Shalom to you. Good to see you in the building. Good to see everybody in the building this morning early with your brother, Priest Danyaahla. So I just got finished watching that video, the threat assessment video on the IUIC events page. So I want to just take time out real quick to give a quick shout out to those brothers. I want to talk about that video really quickly. If you haven't had a chance to see the video, when you get a chance, you can go over to the IUIC events video and you can check out the threat assessment video with the reporter Sam Kestenbaum. All right. My last video, I was calling him Castenbaum, but it's actually with the E, according to the way it was spelt on the screen. So it was Sam Kestenbaum. And Sam Kestenbaum is, I'm just going to, briefly say that he is well studied on the Israelite movement. Well studied. When you listen to the interview, when you listen to certain things that he says, certain videos that he's aware of, certain movements that certain camps make, you can listen to him and you could clearly see he's been studying the movement. Certain questions that he was asking, it was obvious that he's been studying the movement and studying the different camps, which is what I said in my last video. Which is why I said in my last video, it was impossible, if there was an article that existed where he was using, this is according to the brothers, the Torah-based brothers that did the video, if there was an article that he did where he was using images of camps that were not in DC, and he used it in his article, I say that that was on purpose. Because if you listen to the interview, he is well aware of who's who in Israel. Well aware of it. Clearly, by the line of questioning and everything, he's well aware of it, right? So Sam Kestenbaum is a so-called Jew that's an independent reporter, according to him, that's been studying the Israelite movement the same way Vocab Malone and the so-called Christian apologists have been studying the movement. This demon has been studying the movement, which is not something new. When you go back and you remember Malcolm X had reporters that followed him around too and studied the movement of the Nation of Islam back then. No matter what we do as Israelites, whether the media actually puts us in front of the spotlight or not, there's always a certain segment of the media that's laying in the cut that knows what's going on in our communities, because all these camps have been infiltrated, okay? You know what I'm saying? And plus we're putting all our stuff online, so they sit back and they watch. When you go back and you read about Malcolm X, there was a particular reporter that Malcolm would sit down and do interviews with, and this reporter was a student of the movement of the Nation of Islam. That was Gabe Pressman, G-A-B-E, Pressman, P-R-E-S-S-M-A-N. Gabe Pressman. He knew everything about Malcolm X. He knew Malcolm's family. He knew Malcolm's wife. He knew his children. He knew Malcolm. He knew all that stuff. All right? The same thing is going on now. Same thing. Okay? This Sam Kestenbaum character, those Torah-based brothers that did that panel about a week and a half ago, they all know him. He says they know him. Thank you for that donation. All praises to the Most High for that. Much appreciated. Also, he did an interview with IUIC before. Plus, in the interview, he's mentioning and dropping names for other camps with ease. He knows who's who. He knows the difference between House of Israel and what they teach and the way that they teach and the difference between IUIC. He was dropping a lot of hints in that video that he's been studying the movement. That is why in the video I did before, I've been telling you, brothers, and you know now, I've said it about 3 times, brothers have to be careful what you are saying when you're approached by the media. And I thank the Most High that the media doesn't approach every camp and every individual, because there's a lot of you Israelites, and you know who you are. If the camera is put in front of you, you will use it as an opportunity to destroy, bash, tear down everybody else. And so, specifically speaking about this interview, I want to give the IUIC, particularly Nathaniel, I want to give him credit. Somebody who y'all know I go way back with to the old school. I want to give him credit for the way he handled himself and conducted himself in the interview, particularly when he was asked about the House of Israel and other camps. That is the way you are supposed to deal with those type of questions when the media comes forward and looks for an opportunity to sow discord amongst brothers. At the end of the day, we are all Israelites, and we're brothers and sisters who disagree with each other on certain things. That's a part of life. We disagree with each other on certain things. But the beauty of the internet and social media is that we all have Facebook pages. We all have YouTube pages. Many of us have Instagram pages. Some of you have Twitter pages, and you have phone numbers. So when I don't agree with something that my brother or my sister says, before I will go in front of the white media in the world and disrespect another camp or another brother because the camera's in front of my face, right? I'll go to my brother first. And when the media comes and asks me a question, I'm not going to tear down my brother. And so that was a beautiful thing that that brother did, because he didn't have to do that. I'm telling you, there are camp leaders in Israel that if a camera's in front of their face, they're going to tear down every other Israelite camp that they could tear down to big themselves up. And I'm talking about Torah-based camps, and I'm talking about New Testament camps. This is a fact. I could see it. When I watched that interview a week and a half ago with the panel of Torah-based brothers, there were some brothers up on there that were some good brothers. I could read their spirit. There were some good brothers, but there was one individual on there. You could see the absolute hatred and disdain for Israelites that weren't a part of what he's a part of. I could see it in his face. And I know for a fact, I'm not guessing, that if the media went to him, he's going to use it as an opportunity to tear everybody else down. Okay? So I respect that move. I think it's a very important move. And I think a lot of you Israelites, you brothers and you sisters, you should go watch that interview. That is how you conduct yourself when the media, or if the media comes to you and asks you a question about another camp. Yes, the media, listen to me. Sam was aware that there are differences amongst the camps. The line of questioning that he was asking made it clear that he understood that there are some doctrinal differences. He knows that. And what he tried to do was he tried to play on those differences. Just because we are aware that there are differences doesn't mean that we have to acquiesce to the white media when they come to us to try to tear somebody else down. You can do you have YouTube, your own personal YouTube channels to discuss the differences that you have. Okay? You have your own social media pages to vent and talk about the differences you have. But the minute that that white man comes in your face and asks you about your brother, right? You need to take that opportunity not to tear your brothers down. That's what they're looking for. That was a threat assessment. That was a correct title for that video. That was a threat assessment. This dude was almost brokenhearted that they didn't give him an exact number of people that marched in Memphis. What does he need to know that for? You can see the disappointment in his face. No, you can tell me. You can tell me. And how many people are in your organization? You don't need to know. Why not? You can tell me. What does the so-called white man need to know that for? It's threat assessment. You see, the Southern Poverty Law Center list that a lot of camps are on is a threat assessment, right? No, we're not extremist groups because we're not talking about going out and killing white people. That'd be stupid. So no, we're not on the extremist list, but they got us on the hate group list, which is a threat assessment. And let me say this. The white man is not going to spend resources and money to infiltrate organizations if they're not a threat at all. That is stupid logic. Whether or not you are deemed to be an extreme threat, if the white man has anybody infiltrating organizations, if he has any FBI, CIA, whatever, if he's spending any of his hard-earned money to research organizations, you better believe you are a threat. If the white man sits down and makes a list of all the camps across the country, where they're located, so forth and so on, you're a threat. If the white man is interviewing you, asking you how many of you there are, and you don't tell him and he's upset, you're a threat. You don't need to have guns to be a threat to the white man. The Bible tells us in the book of 2 Thessalonians, the Most High said he will destroy this place with the spirit of his mouth. Okay, and the brightness of his coming. The spirit of the Lord's mouth is this Bible. By us going out and teaching this Bible and waking our people up, there's no bigger threat. That's what J. Edgar Hoover said. J. Edgar Hoover said there's no bigger threat than black unity. Not black people running around with guns talking about the extremists. No, than black unity, period. That's the threat. All right, so you need to understand that. So that was a beautiful thing that those brothers did. They're not the only ones that did that. Remember, there's a video circulating around when a so-called white man, we don't know who he was. He could have been a reporter as well. We don't know who he was. In Times Square, you had our brothers, shout out to AOC under General Hashar, where the white man approached the AOC camp and asked them about IUIC. And what did those brothers do? They told the white man that he could go jump off a bridge, for lack of a better words. Like, don't ask us to disrespect another camp to you. If we have something to say to them, we'll tell them. If there's differences, we will discuss it. What does it have to do with you? That was the right thing to do. That was the right thing to do. Y'all remember going back when we went to the ISUPK cookout? This is on another level, right? Garfield was trying to get me to bash Zion Lex in his book. What did we say? We said, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to use this platform to destroy or talk evil about my brother when if I have a disagreement with him, I can call him. I know how to get in touch with him. That's the right thing to do. And so I want to commend those brothers for the interview that they did. I thought it was a good thing. Put aside your personal feelings just for a minute, Israel. Put aside your personal biases just for a minute, Israel, and understand that we are building a nation. We're building a nation. When America was being established, they had wars. Go back and read, not shootout wars, but there was wars amongst them. There was fighting amongst them. There was bickering and arguing amongst them. It was contentious. To establish this queendom, I don't call it a kingdom, it's a queendom. To establish this thing that they call America, they had wars amongst themselves. It's not easy to establish a nation, right? But nonetheless, a nation is being established. So there's going to be differences. That's why the Bible says, in that day we shall all what? See eye to eye. In that day, when we are in our kingdom, when we are restored to our former glory, we'll all see eye to eye because we'll all know the truth at that time. We'll know what we were right about, and we'll know what we were wrong about, because all of us are right in some areas and all of us are wrong in others. You see? That day is coming. But we don't have to take the opportunity when the media comes to tear. Why do you need to go to this? Why does the so-called white media care so much about differences with Israelites? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Because it's a threat assessment. You see? If they can see that they can come to us and talk bad about another camp and cause more discord, that's what they want to do. That's what they're going to do. You don't have to feed into that. So I commend those brothers for that interview. I just want to say that I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I would prefer for y'all to go over there and watch the video. It's on the IUIC events channel. It's the latest video that they uploaded, the threat assessment. I thought it was a beautiful thing. And so, y'all don't really need to be watching me. It's about an hour and a half long. Go check it out. That is a blueprint that I'm hoping most of you, because some of Israel, you're just going to be niggers. That's just what it's going to be. You're going to be a nigger. And so we can't reach you. We can't do nothing for you, right? But that was a beautiful thing that those brothers did. And that is a model for when you are approached by media. That is how you do your brother. No matter how you disagree with him, that is how you do your brother. And when you're finished with the interview, if you want to go to your brother and discuss where you disagree in doctrine, you go and you talk to him. You go and you talk to him, period. Many, many years ago, I'm going to end with this. Many years ago, when the brother went on the Montel Williams show, that thing is circulating on YouTube too. You can go back and watch that. Montel asked the brother about the Nation of Islam, right? Now, we all know how we feel about the whole Islam thing. What did the brother say? He said, He's not there to talk about the Nation of Islam. And if he got something to say to them, he'll tell them. I'm not coming on national, even though Montel is a black man, but let's be honest. The powers that be behind him is the so-called white man, the so-called Jew. That gives him, the questions to ask. But the brother didn't take the opportunity to talk about those things to them. If he got something to say, we'll talk to them. We'll talk to them. They got something to say, they should talk to us. That's the way that this thing goes. You see? Everybody's not going to understand this thing, but for those of you that can understand, understand. Also, there's another good video. I'm giving you a lot of videos. I've given some of them to you before. You can go and you can watch on YouTube, Khalid Muhammad, New York 1, NY1. Khalid Muhammad, NY1. That is how you handle yourself when you are questioned by the media, because they're going to try to put you in a box. They're going to try to sow discord with your brothers and do all that stuff. Don't give Satan the opportunity. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. But go check that video out on their page, IUIC Events, the threat assessment video. I thought it was very good. Hopefully the majority of you can see the value in it. If you put aside your personal disagreements or gripes because you don't like this camp, you don't like that camp, take those personal feelings away and look at the bigger picture. The media is preparing an all-out war against the Israelite movement. That's what they're doing right now. This is all part of Project Megiddo. I told y'all this before. All right? We don't have to give them the tools or the ammunition, I should say, that they are looking for. With that, this is your brother Priest. Dang, I did it in 16 minutes, y'all. Wasn't long-winded today. Everybody have a blessed Sabbath. Love y'all brothers and sisters. And as always, on your way out, could you please hit the like button for a brother. Shalom.